in this tournament, a 4-1 win. The only goal against was a power play goal.
Robert Esch out to have a word with DiPietro. Overall in the game, 36 shots to 12. Team USA, they win the contest by a count of 4-1. Pierre McGuire is here and will be conducting some interviews for us as our coverage of the Winter Olympics from
goal. Good defensively. The effort's been pretty good, but they got to find a way to score goals, so that's what they're trying to do.
The Russian Bear is pretty well loaded. They've got a lot of NHL players on their squad. 15 goals in the last 3 games. They've won them all.
Kovalchuk plays on a line with Datsyuk, a brilliant passing centerman, and Kovalov. Look at that. Datsyuk to Kovalchuk. 4 goals in this one game against Latvia, and this is the talent that this Russian team has, and that's just one player. You start adding other players in there and think of Datsyuk and Kovalov. There's all kinds of them, Mike.
And those are the 2 that will be out there with Kovalchuk at the start against Mike Kadubel, Mike Modano, and Eric Cole. Darian Hatcher and Jordan Leopold the defense, with Danny Markov and Andrei Markov the defense for Russia. Robert Esch in goal for Team USA. Yevgeny Nabokov of the San Jose Sharks in goal for Team Russia. And the chanting has already begun. Brian Gionta brings it ahead. Gionta forced it behind, and big Darian Hatcher all the way in on defense. Hatcher spun one that's gloved down by Danny Markov and spun back ahead. Alex Kovalev brings it ahead for Russia. Kovalev has Kovalchuk breaking, trying to get loose to do something, but plenty of Team USA members buzzing around, and one of them, Hatcher, is able to hold him off at the board.
A good tournament for Darian Hatcher. He's a big man. You wonder about his speed on this big ice, but he's handled it well. And if they play him against the Russian #1 line, centered by Datsyuk, remember they were teammates in Detroit, so they know each other. That's half the battle.
Matthew Schneider with a shot that went wide. Back it comes to Chris Chelios for a shot that was wide. And it is just dumped back out again by Alexander Karatanov of Russia. Forced back in by Gionta, working with Brian Ralston and Scott Gomez.
Watch this guy, Mike Malkin. I've never seen him play live before. I can hardly wait to watch him play. He belongs to Pittsburgh. He has not left Russia yet. He's young.
2-on-1, Jason Blake with Tkachuk. Shot! Oh, and that one was over the glove hand of Nabokov, and it wrapped off the glass. Tkachuk a shot, and that one slowed down by Sergei Gonchar.
Team USA's bench players standing up. They're into this thing. That's the 3rd time in the tournament. Blake has moved down ice with his speed on an odd-man rush and missed the top corner of the net.
This is Bill Guerin from the Dallas Stars, slowing that one down. Got it over to Doug Weight. Back to Guerin, a shot, and that one was off the mark. Played back on again and sent behind by Brett Hedican. Turning with it, his teammate in Carolina, Weight, tried to set up Chris Drury, but that deflected back to center by Alexei Yashin of the New York Islanders in Russia. Ricocheted back off Bill Guerin, and Guerin waltzes in. Checks off his man. That's Fedor Tutin from the New York Rangers in Russia. Now a chance. Viktor Kozlov brings it on. Dropping back is Hedican. Kozlov's shot went off him and wide. This is Ovechkin, and it's lobbed back out. You talk about Malkin's danger, Ovechkin's danger too, number 8 and number 18.
Somebody on every line for Russia that's extremely dangerous. 26 years ago tomorrow, United States of America 4, the USSR, the Soviet Union 3 at Lake Placid.
Here is Mike Modano with a shot that's deflected up into the mesh.
So Robert Esch is the starting goaltender. His first game of this tournament, plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, was really disappointed to be chosen as number 3 in the tournament. And is a competitive guy. He's a good goaltender. He's got a big size, and it's got to be a thrill for him. In fact, it is a thrill for him playing this game.
Puck one to the back. Lyles a shot, and that one knocked into the paraphernalia of Nabokov.
Nabokov plays for the San Jose Sharks. As you can tell by the color of his goal pads themselves, he's a goaltender that wears number 20. That is after 2 people. Tretiak, former great goaltender for the Russian Red Army, and also his father. His father was a player who wore number 20.
One to the back to John Michael Lyles again. Brett Hedican pinches back in. This is something Team USA wanted. They wanted their defensemen to be more involved in the play. Anything at this point to get more goal scoring. 9 goals scored in the 4 games by the United States. So a 2.25 goals for average, tied for 7th out of the dozen teams in this tournament. Maxim Afinogenov from the Buffalo Sabres wheels ahead, surrounded by dark blue uniforms. Laid back out for Gomez. Oh, was he ever run off? And it's brought back in by Korolyuk, and a shot went just wide of Esch in the U.S. cage.
How about the pace in this game? USA, this is the best I've seen him skate in the tournament. I know we're only just about 4 minutes into the game, but it's the best legs I've seen them have in the tournament.
They had a 15-minute patch of ice today. Normally you get more, but it's very compressed now as we move through this last preliminary game. In 15 minutes, half a dozen players came out, including Robert Esch, the goalkeeper, to get a little work. Here is Gomez moving back in. Scott Gomez turned it on to Giunta, then back near Gomez, but it's cut off and started back, and the defense plays it back up to Alex Kovalev.
And again, it's Hatcher and Leopold, the defense pairing for Team USA, to play against the scoring line of Kovalchuk and Datsuk and Kovalev.
Nabokov played it to the corner. Sergei Gonchar tried to get it further, fed to the back, and Team USA just coming from a line change. That's held in by Keith Tkachuk on the pass from Chelios. Tkachuk wheels around behind. Gives on back now to Chelios, but he lost it over the line, pushed it back in, and Team USA clears the zone, so there's no offside. Nearly 5 minutes played in the first period. Only a single shot on goal, and that by Team USA. Matthew Schneider goes back. Bumped into along the wall by Victor Kozlov. Meanwhile, it is taken right back out again and laid across by Chelios to Matthew Schneider, his defense partner in Detroit. Jason Blake, a leaping play by Conroy. Pivoting with it is Blake now. Picking up reinforcements as along came Chelios to spin one into the catching glove of Nabokov.
Well, a pretty good hit by Korolyuk as he was in the neutral zone. Scotty Gomez is really good at carrying the puck. He can make good moves one-on-one at full speed. Wrong. End of play right there. A good body check and a clean one. As again, we have good pace here. Drury, one of the best face-off men in the business, just wins one.
To the back it comes, hurried to the corner by Chelios. Moving in is Chris Drury for it. But Russia able to take over again. Popped along through the legs of Ovechkin. Chipped back out again by Brian Rafalski. Ooh, a healthy hit was coming from Bill Guerin. Meanwhile, the puck turned back over for Drury. Chased off and leaned on by Fedor Tutin of the Russian defense. To the back, Rafalski, a shot! And then another one that went off the outside of the net near the post. What a great opportunity in front for Bill Guerin.
On a gorgeous pass from Doug Weight. Beautiful play. Missed the net. That's one thing Peter Laviolette, the head coach for Team USA, talked about. Boys, hit the net.
Well, you pointed out Blake, of course, earlier missed it and had in a couple of great opportunities earlier.
But Team USA is playing a little freer here as there's an icing call here. They're freer, they're skating better, their legs are underneath their bodies, and they're getting good chances, and they haven't given up a good chance yet. This is the play along the boards. Doug Wait's there. Now watch Wait go in behind the net. He loves going there. There, Nabokov to save. Wait with a quick pass, and Billy Guerin missed the net backing up. By the way, Bondra, 1-0 Slovakia over Sweden in their game.
Slovakia trying to run the table as Finland did in its preliminary on the other side. Save made by Robert Esch, the first shot on goal by Russia. Now it comes back to Zhukov, a shot, and a good stop made there by Esch. Now back on comes Eric Cole, trying to fight his way through. It's poked back across, and Lyle's unable to come up with it. Stepping to it is Afinogenov. Nice little pass through traffic. Brought back on by Andrei Teratukin. Dropped off for a drive by Afinogenov that is saved by Esch. Steering it back ahead is Eric Cole. Oh, a nice move to get by. Brings it in. Cole shoots, deflected wide. Good scrap to this game.
Oh, Vishnevsky took a run at Cole. Cole saw him and sidestepped him. Man, did he try to throw a freight train in.
Korolyuk centered. Afinogenov taken out of the play by the back checking of Mike Modano. Lifted along by Leopold. Chipped back out to center ice. Controlled by the Russian defense and laid on back for Danny Markov. But then Parrish settled down a little bit, back to Hatcher, then across for Jordan Leopold. Chipped ahead, moving in is Scott Gomez. Gomez for Parrish, can't get the shot away. There'll be a penalty coming up, and it will be against Russia.
I think Andrei Markov, there'll be a hooking call as Team USA was on the rush. Robert Esch with a couple of nice saves. Good to see there as Dvorsky, the referee, shows us the hooking call. Look at Cole. Watch the move here. Here comes the freight train. Oh, baby. And he was gone. Look at his acceleration. How about the Russians when they moved up ice? Look at the pass work. There's one pass. Here's two. Here's three. And there's Robert Esche getting himself into the game. Team USA power play.
Power play is third best out of the 12 in the tournament at 18.2%. There haven't been teams with good power plays compared to what we normally see through a year in North American hockey. Quick shot is deflected wide. The penalty killing has dominated in this event.
Except for Finland.
They seem to be pretty good at all of it, don't
They're
they?
11 for 33. That's 33%. So that's a team that Team USA is going to play tomorrow. 11 for 33 on their power play, which is awesome.
And that is an updated figure. John has done all the math for us. It's perfect. Here's Cole swinging one to the back. Kept there by Matthew Schneider. Back through Cole, though. And so there will be an opportunity for Russia to clear it back out. Oh, and look at this. The bouncer had to be swatted away by Schneider. Two Russians were waiting back down ice. Maxim Shushinsky and Yevgeny Malkin.
And they play on the same line in Russia. And they're dangerous. Only 3 shorthanded goals total in this tournament to this point. But watch out. This Russian team will take chances.
Brian Rafalski with a pass across. Schneider lifts one, hoping for the bounce off the glass that does come to Tkachuk. Got it to Rafalski, stashed around behind. Worked to the outside then, and it came back for control by Schneider. Back to Rafalski again. Angles one that's deflected up into the mesh.
By big, long-reached Viktor Kozlov as the U.S. moved the puck around nice, but never got the shot they wanted. Still 47 seconds to go. Looks like Rafalski's looking better, huh, Mike? He had the bad rib. Didn't play early in the tournament. Actually dressed for a game, hardly played. Next game didn't dress, and just trying to get himself healthy for the big part of the tournament, which starts tomorrow.
Against Finland, Rafalski gave it over now, and it's Drury shooting, and that blocked up into the mesh. That's
Drury,
the first shot on this power play for the United States.
And Drury moved back. It's smart play. Win the face-off. Drury's over to the right side. You can't see it. See him. Now he's backing up. Now he's in open ice. Takes a look, takes the shot off the shoulder of Nabokov.
Scoring chances in the game, 4 for the United States, none for Russia. Shots in the game, 3-2. Favor of the U.S.
But there's been good play. Real fast speed.
Walked on by Rafalski. Shoots one, save! Rebound hopped away from John Michael Lyles.
See, that's what Rafalski can do so well when he looks healthy. He walked the puck parallel with the blue line. Saw nobody open to pass to and had himself a real good shot on goal.
Here comes Lyles with it. Lyles fed it across. Held by Tkachuk. Played on to Rafalski. Hunted down by Korolyuk and hit hard to the boards.
2 big hits by Korolyuk in this game. That one on Rafalski and earlier on Gomez.
Drury protects neatly at the line. Oh, and it's stolen away. Korolyuk at the end of a shift. Breezing on in. Score!
It's an even strength goal. Korolyuk looked like he could hardly get there. Along the blue line play by Drury, and it's given up. And takes his time. He had room and went to the forehand side to the right of Esche. Good deke. A little shoulder drop. Good deke. 1-0 in favor of Russia on a breakaway by Korolyuk that'll be unassisted.
5 seconds after the penalty to Markov had expired, Russia gets the first goal.
And he's been good early. Korolyuk has thrown the body. He intercepted a play. He scored on a breakaway. He is involved in this game. Look at it. He can hardly catch his breath. I didn't know if he's going to have enough energy to get to the net.
It didn't look like it.
No, he got slower and slower as it was a breakaway. He was out of fuel, but on fumes, able to make the play.
Former San Jose Shark, now playing for Vityaz Chekhov in Europe. There is a lot of talk going on right now over here internationally about a new league coming in.
The Russian Super League, which could include other countries. Slava Fetisov, one of the people behind that. He used to play in New Jersey in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Kovalchuk crossing, pushed it through the legs of Chris Chelios, and Chelios is able to emerge. Back on now, a little hit applied to Bill Guerin, brought back on by Doug Weight. Good protection, tried to feed one in the slot. Around behind, it's fed just away from Guerin, and we're going to get a penalty coming up.
I think Markov's going to go, plays in Nashville. He's very adamant about the call. He didn't like it much. Team USA trying to find offense, trying to get to the net as they go and get close to trying to make the shot or make the play that sets up the shot. There's some hooks in there. And Paul Dvorsky makes the call. It's right at the net. Now there's Markov right in there behind the net on Doug Weight. Slowed him right down.
Canadian-born referee Paul Dvorsky working with Steve Miller of the NHL, another Canadian who has been an NHL official since the year 2000. On the lines with Stefan Fonselius of Finland, who has been a Finnish Elite League linesman for 8 years. Now Mike Modano on this power play. Only one shot on the previous power play for the United States. They'll try to improve as Rafalski shoots, and that went off the pad of Nabokov.
Rafalski had the previous one too, Mike. 2-on-1.
It is Malkin feeding it across. Back to Malkin. He scores! A short-handed goal for Evgeny Malkin.
Rafalski had the shot, Nabokov the save, and when the puck was flipped out, all of a sudden the counter was a 2-on-1. This kid Malkin, people in Pittsburgh are just drooling at trying to get him there. There you see the puck moved out of the zone by Shushinsky, and a give and go. Give, go. How about the pass by Kasparaitis? And what's he doing up there? He's a defenseman. Shushinsky, the forward, was back deep and made the play. Kasparaitis of the Rangers read it. And that is one gorgeous shorthanded goal. Only the 4th of the tournament, all games combined.
Lightning. 1 minute and 14 seconds apart. Korolyuk first, Malkin after that.
Malkin played in the World Junior Championships in Vancouver during the holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and was a star. Their team did not win. Canada won it, but he opened eyes of people, and here he started on a line, and then he was switched. The centerman flipped, he and Yashin, and the line that he's with is the one he plays over in Russia with, and they have been awesome. Shushinsky's on it. You can see how they work together, Mike. And people in Pittsburgh, you're going to have yourselves a good player if you keep your team in Pittsburgh.
Gomez gave it across, held there and forced to the back by Weight. Drive by Ralston is deflected up into the mesh. Oh, Brian Ralston can bring a hard shot from back there, and he did that time. What
a rocket by Ralston. Good save by Nabokov. Take a look again at the last goal. Rafalski takes the shot. He walked the puck along the blue line. Now watch the attack of the 2-on-1. Now in behind, everybody's just dying to get back, and there you see how quickly Malkin and Kasparaitis took care of business.
Kasparaitis, a member of the 1992 unified team that won the gold medal in Albertville, France. And so many of those players went immediately thereafter, within the next 2 weeks or within the next year, to the NHL. Some were more immediate than others.
The one that went and is a star now in the NHL is Sergei Zubov, who didn't want to play in the Olympics here for Russia. Their general manager is Pavel Bure.
Stoppage of play, and it's called back on an offside.
Peter Laviolette, his team probably had the puck 60% of the time. 2 power plays, yet they have 0 goals and find themselves down 2, Pierre.
One of the things you guys were just talking about Evgeny Malkin, one of the things that's really helped Evgeny Malkin's game develop, he's actually being coached by a Canadian-born coach, Dave King, who's a legend in international hockey. He's coaching in Magnitogorsk right now, and it's really helped Malkin's adjustment in terms of understanding NHL-style hockey.
Good to have Pierre Maguire with us here as that pass was thrown out in front by Drury, and it ricocheted off the goal stick of Nabokov. 2 shots on this power play so far. It's fed back across now for a feed by Conroy. Handed on back to Lyles, and a shot is trapped and held by Nabokov.
That's a good point that Pierre came up with. Pierre saw Malkin live and in color at the Vancouver Junior Tournament. And then, yes, and Dave King. Dave King's an exceptional coach. Very intelligent regarding the international hockey aspect of hockey and the bigger ice and everything else. I think that's a real bonus for Malkin, and Pittsburgh should be, I think, if they get him over to play and he doesn't have to worry about the contract that he has in place, Pittsburgh would be thrilled to have Dave King as his coach over there.
It was King who coached Team Canada in 1992 in Albertville to that gold medal game against that incredibly powerful unified team that Victor Tikhonov was coaching. We're going to get a penalty called by Paul Dvorsky, and the call is a hook.
I think this one's against Mike Knuble.
One of the benefits we have, excuse me, John,
That's
of
right,
the NHL referees is, unlike the international ones that we've seen in both men's and women's competition, they point to the guy. Instead of
that does help us,
saying
doesn't it?
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure does.
Well, you're going to see Knuble. His feet aren't moving, and you're going to see him reach out as Datsyuk tries to take the puck. He's double teamed there. There's the hook, right into the hip. And Paul Dvorsky calling it zero tolerance here in the first period for both clubs. Well, a chance to see the Russian power play, and this is a team that's been getting better as the tournament has moved along. Datsyuk, Kovalov, and Kovalchuk, regular line together to play this power play. Datsyuk he's like a slinky. He slides in, he slides out. He's just very intelligent. Look at that.
Datsyuk behind, and then Hatcher away from Kovalev, chipped along by Craig Conroy. Jason Blake will come to the bench in a change of penalty killers. Then Darian Hatcher. Then Leopold. Kovalchuk, Datsyuk, Kovalev. Up front for Russia. Brought back ahead and carried on now, and trying to pull the trigger was Ralston. Team USA changing its defense. It's Datsyuk dropping. Kovalchuk the shot, and that one knifed down, and then the rebound sent well wide. Datsyuk has it, denied by Chelios, who slugged it right back down the ice.
Good block by Brett Hennigan on the shot by Kovalchuk. Also, do you see the back check by Datsyuk? I mean, he's a forward. He loves to make plays and score, yet he back checked and took the puck away from Brian Ralston. Just a hard worker.
Good point. Remember the Detroit Red Wings, as Cole tried to play one across. It's held back along by Shushinsky. Then it came to Gonchar, sent back across. Wisniewski back at the point. Dropped back across for control by the Russians on this power play as they swirl around. Given to Shushinsky around behind. Back to Gonchar, a shot, and it's held by Robert Ashe.
Now the Russians moved the puck around and around. And from behind the net, the puck was set up to Gonchar. And Ashe with the save. He had allowed 2 goals on 2 shots. Gonchar's really struggled in Pittsburgh this season. He had a brand new big-time contract. He said wherever he goes, it takes him a while to adjust. Well, see if he adjusts the rest of this tournament.
And then down the home stretch. The NHL trade deadline is going in. It is March the 9th, but there is a roster freeze during these Olympics until the 27th. Oh my!
Hello.
Hatcher will pay for that one.
Good night.
And it will be a 5-on-3 for 17 seconds.
I think Mr. Malka just found out what it's like to play against a great big nasty, very nasty defenseman in Hatcher who hit him right in the mush.
Pierre.
This game doesn't mean a lot for the Americans, obviously. We already know who they're going to play tomorrow, Finland. But clearly, John and Mike, they want to establish some sort of identity in this tournament. And right now, through the first 14 minutes of this game, their identity is about turnovers, not paying attention to detail, and playing very undisciplined hockey.
They have only 3 out there because of the 5-on-3, and they are Chelios, Hennigan, and Craig Conroy. The Russians have an all-star team. If they don't have them on the first wave, they'll have them on the second. Here's Ovechkin moving in with Yashin and Viktor Kozlov. Ovechkin to the back, right out of the box to challenge was Mike Knuble. Ovechkin prevailed, then back in deep to Viktor Kozlov. Fed one across, and the shot was shanked. Now Gonchar a shot, and that deflected high. Getting a piece of it, Hennigan, and it's scooped back out again. 1:25 to go on the kill. 2 shots for Russia in the first part of the power play. Gonchar tried for Kozlov. That didn't work. Moves in with Schneider. It's knifed on to Ovechkin. Ovechkin works it along, and unable to reach for the moment was Yashin. They crash in, and Schneider saw Yashin peel away. Gonchar playing some catch with Yashin. Opposite side is Andrei Markov on the power play, but they're working strong side now, but charging after it is Drury. Oh, what a swat on Gonchar. Meanwhile, it comes back over for Andrei Markov, trying to keep play alive as we're down to the last 3/4 of a minute on the power play. Ovechkin dished it back off to Yashin. Denied, and it's cleared back but not out. Good hand-eye coordination by Viktor Kozlov. Peels away from Schneider. Gives it back, and Markov shot wide. Rebound! Popped across and not getting as much on it as he wanted that time. I believe was Ovechkin.
Yes.
Worked around to the backside now, and it is jammed loose by Kovalchuk. Knife back over, and so it'll be taken by Yashin.
Penalty killers are exhausted, just exhausted.
They have some gas left, we'll see. Held along now and played by Zhukov. kicked around behind, and stepping forward is Hedican, and Hedican able to lift it back down. 3 seconds and 2.
Russians had the puck in there the whole time. The USA kept them to the outside. The Russians recovered. The puck was to the outside. I don't even think they registered a shot.
It is played back in deep and swept by Korolyuk. Oh, and controlled by Team USA. They've got to break up the wing. Tkachuk has Blake moving. Painted to him on off the heel of his stick. Couldn't get the shot off. More opportunities for the United States and no shots on goal coming from it.
Does Blake have a hole in the blade of his stick?
Here is Tkachuk sweeping one. That one got tangled up in skates and hopped to Hedican, who has to drop back, and there will be a halt to play because of the net being dislodged.
Beautiful pass up to Tkachuk. A gorgeous pass up to Tkachuk. It's chipped away right here. Here's the backhand pass. Now Tkachuk reads Blake going to the net. Perfect pass. He flat out missed it. Just flat out missed it at an open net. Now Russia, when you're on the power play, you outnumber the other team to kill and find the puck. Now look at the U.S. gets to the puck. Look at the 3 guys go to him. They're on a power play. Outnumber the blue. They did. They kept recovering the puck, but never got many shots. That's how you recover pucks on a power play.
Mike Modano wins this cleanly. It's Leopold back for the blast around by Hatcher. Swung by Markov, kept by Leopold. Markov will try again. On him is Mike Modano. Coming along to help. Nudging it back in deep was Modano and Eric Cole there as well. Meanwhile, it's played to the outside to Cole by Modano. Mike Knuble at the penalty. Oh my goodness, was he ever run?
I think
play
that
continues.
Was Datsuk that nailed Cole.
Whoa. Well, play continues. As mentioned, am I saying that too much? Played on the wing by Kovalev and then controlled on back by Knuble. Now Modano. Modano follows up the Russian clear. Kovalchuk couldn't step by. Modano could. Across it comes to Ralston. Denied by the checking of Datsuk. Took it right away. Then Kovalev weaving his way through traffic and angled it back in. Goals from Korolyuk and Malkin. Malkin's was shorthanded. 1 minute and 14 seconds apart. They seem like quite a while ago. They were in the middle part of this period. 2 minutes to go, first period. That pass cut by Gomez, given to Gionta. Drive, and it's deflected away by Kasparaitis. Now Gomez. Gionta well watched. Got it across. Drive by Schneider. And that one went off the pad of Nabokov and came back down. Chelios to Matthew Schneider. Lobbed it on Team USA in the midst of a change. Scurrying ahead, Gionta nudges on to Gomez. Scott Gomez fed one to Gionta, shouldered right off. There'll be a penalty coming up, and the call will be against Russia.
And I think Gionta made the play at the very end of a shift, playing hard. Finds a way to draw a power play with 1.5 minutes to go in the period. Mike, the Russian club has had 2 odd-man rushes in the period, a breakaway and a 2-on-1, and they scored on both. Team USA has had 2 odd-man rushes in the period and haven't scored. There's your difference. One team's ability to finish, the other not. And as you see, Shushinsky, who plays in the Russian Super League, is in the penalty box. 1.5 minutes to go in the period.
Drury on back to Matt Schneider. A shot went off a leg, gotten by Conroy. Fed in front! Score! Brian Ralston, 33rd birthday. Headed to the front of the net, mashed it in. It's 2-1.
Well, you win some face-offs or go to work with the puck after the draw. Finally, a beautiful puck moved across, and this very easily could be a 2-2 game. Instead, it's just 2-1, but finally the U.S. get on the board. That shot never got through, and there's the nice pass. Oh, Nabokov nearly got it. As you're going to see this pass across, go right to Ralston, who almost missed the play, but eventually in. And you know the other thing there that was really good is Keith Tkachuk took 2 men to him. Keith Tkachuk had 2 men almost tackle him. That opened up the ice. That's what Ralston read, and that's why the pass was able to be made from Conroy. Boy, did Keith Tkachuk get some attention. A little delay here as they're agreeing to video to see if the puck and the goal was allowed. Yes, it is, and here we go.
Penalty box empty. 1 minute 20 to go in the first period. Team USA has cut the lead in half. Pass is back checked away by Drury. Bouncing puck is settled down, left behind by Guerin, but he recovers, throws it in front, jammed wide. as breaking to the net was Drury. Oh, and shaking out of the way of a freight train hit from Guerin that time, one of the Russian players. Afinogenov bounced one in front, guided away. Nearly a Russian player impaled on top of the cage. Afinogenov, the net remained. Afinogenov around behind. Worked on there by Brett Hedican, then by Wade. Centering pass off the outside of the cage. My goodness. We're down to the last 40 of the period. Lifted along Korolyuk, put it off the outside of the net again. This one not causing as much concern. Now Drury, long pass is cut off by Vitaly Vishnevsky. From the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, he played it back in. And from the Philadelphia Flyers, Derian Hatcher. Hatcher across. Leopold sends it back in. Pouring in Team USA. Jason Blake, hard-luck player, particularly in this game already, sees that one squib back down, and so it is handled behind by Leopold in the last 5. One last long drive cut off at the line, and that does it for the first 20.
Well, Ralston gets his 3rd goal of the tournament, and for Keith Tkachuk to do things like this is what he has to do. Watch, right in front there. Look at those guys. They're dealing with him. Opens up the passing lane. Ralston able to score as it went off the goaltender Nabokov. Great pass by Conroy, and we have a new look to this hockey game.
And more confidence for Team USA at the end of that period. Ralston from Conroy at 18:38. Korolyuk and Malkin had scored earlier. The shots were 8-6 Team USA. The studio.
Kovalov's incredibly talented, incredibly strong, and Hatcher stayed with him again. That's why he's out there against that line.
Dropped off to Kovalev, but he has to turn away. Then wound on across with a drive back in that came from Danny Markov from the Nashville Predators. Robert Esch tapped that one along and turned back by Hatcher to Leopold. Pitchfork back out again by Jason Blake. The shots in the first period were 8-6. The goals were scored by Korolyuk and Malkin. You saw those, and then Brian Ralston on a power play. Turnaround shot is shanked down. Played back on to Bill Guerin. Oh, he was run off by Darius Kasparaitis, and he has some words with Darius. You can't scrap here. You get canceled out of the game. Around to the outside, it's fed to the back, held there by Volchenkov. That one is blocked aside, set up by Parrish, played on by Bill Guerin. Guerin able to gain the zone. Shot one that went off Kasparaitis. Nicely on to Guerin. Fed to the back and a drive, and that got the glass. A ripper from Schneider. Long toss is deflected on by Chris Chelios and hunted down by Schneider.
Kasparaitis loves to go in the opposite direction of the man with a puck and have a head-on collision. Thankfully, Guerin's okay.
Guerin shot, and then the follow-up failed. Brought on by Viktor Kozlov. Moving in with Ovechkin. Gave it across, though, for the shot was stopped by Ash. Kozlov able to dig it out. Has Ovechkin nearby, and he comes by to help out. Walks it ahead. Ovechkin a shot, and getting a piece of that was Ash. Yashin back on to Kozlov again. Twists away from Chelios. Points it on back. Fedor Tutin with it there. Rattled it around behind. Oh, Ovechkin rammed in to Chelios, who gets up and looks at Paul Dvorsky. Ovechkin centered. Chelios recovered and played it back ahead.
They're playing for real. This is for keeps, even though the game doesn't mean a whole ton to Team USA with its placings for tomorrow.
Ovechkin crossing. Drops it back off to Yashin. A penalty coming up. The call is a hug.
Oh, golly, are we seeing some hitting here? Kasparaitis likes to go north when the other player is going north, and there's the collision with Guerin, but Guerin was okay. This is now a big collision. Oh, that's another look at it there. Now Ovechkin caught Chelios looking down at the puck. Oh, that was a previous play. Right here, boom. Oh, he exploded into Chelios, who was okay. And we are seeing some body work here.
Power play on for Russia. Puck taken by Hatcher, outletted on to Conroy. Moves back on Vishnevsky. Conroy fanned on the shot, peeled off, dealt it hoping for some four corners that didn't work. The net is dislodged behind the goaltender Nabokov.
Yeah, Blake was there, and now he's into his game. This is a game where both teams are really going after each other. Zhukov was the defenseman tied up with Blake. Take another look at the Ovechkin hit with Chris Chelios. What amazed me is Chelios may even have hit his head on the ice here. Oh, man, did he take it. And back hard. and he got up and made the play in front of the net. Hey, Chris Chelios has just been a tower for this hockey club. And Ovechkin, you know, you watch him play. He's had a great season with the Washington Capitals. And some people are saying that Malkin, who's also in the game, if he goes to the NHL next year, he's already even better than Ovechkin is. That's saying a lot.
Hard to imagine. Marty Brodeur, Team Canada's goalie, played against him in the World Championships last year. And he said, if you like Ovechkin, wait till you see Malkin. Well, we're getting a chance to see him now, and so are you. 18 in white. This one skipped back out again. And he said, if you like Crosby, you're going to like having Malkin on your team, too. Think of those two together. But you brought up a good point. That's if Pittsburgh is there. Follow up now, and a good shoulder on Teratukin. Picked up and sent to the outside. We sure hope so.
Yeah, we were talking. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in peril right now if they don't get a new arena in their building. And you know what? I hope the city of Pittsburgh and people involved find a way to do it. It's a great sports city. It's a great hockey city. Great people around the club, and they've got a future that's I mean, with people like Malkin and people like Fleury, the goaltender, and Crosby, that's something else, Pierre.
Well, John, you know what else? Our league's never had so many good players come in at the same time. When you think about Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Evgeny Malkin, then you look at Dion Phaneuf, Jeff Carter, and coming two Americans, Phil Kessel and Eric Johnson. If you think about it, the NHL's primed to take off because of all this great young talent.
Another player, Henrik Lundqvist, who's the Swedish goaltender, plays for the Rangers. I had to throw him in. He's been fantastic. So here we have a 2-1 game in favor of Russia. Chelios has 53 more seconds to go. And it's another game where I think Team USA is played well. They have played well. They have not given the Russians more than 9 shots to this point. That's the Russian total in the game.
No power play shots for them, as this is fed across, and unable to get a good shot away was Kovalev because of the work of Brett Hedican. So now Andrei Markov connects back up with Kovalev again. He has Kovalchuk in the swoop, and he's able to take his pass. Inside the box is Datsyuk. Very deliberate at this point. Turned back in. They have pass going back to the point, sent back further by Danny Markov. Markov and Andrei Markov are the 2-point men. Kovalev a shot, and a rocket of a wrist shot went wide. Forced back along by Rafalski and down. 10 seconds to go on the penalty kill to Team USA. Early stages, second period. Russia leading in the game 2-1. Team USA will play Finland tomorrow in the quarterfinal start. Around it comes to the outside. No power play shots for Russia. Drive by Markov is held by Egg.
Oh, but Robert Esche got his legs closed just in time. Robert Esche first played hockey for the Whitesboro Warriors, the Squirts team. That's where it all started. And here he finds himself in the Olympics playing the Russian hockey club. And he got himself into a good position to take the shot, close everything off. Boy, they like to pass the puck, this Russian club, and set up the shot. And there's Robert Esche hanging on.
Won cleanly by Malkin. Back to Kasparaitis for a shot deflected by Malkin, but that didn't find its way on goal. Now circling and dropping it back was Karatanov, held by Kasparaitis. Worked in close quarters, out for Karatanov, and a good save made by Esche on him. Bouncer came across to be lobbed on, but it can't get to Knuble. It's lobbed out of play at the Russian bench, and again play is stopped.
And not one of these 3 forwards play in the National Hockey League, and Malkin looks like something happened. He's in all kinds of pain. He's gotten nailed twice now, once by Hatcher earlier. This is a play where he moves across, ran into Mike Modano there. Let's see if something else happened. Moves across. The puck may have hit him right there on the hip bone, but he was hunched over after each of those 2 things that happened. One was the play into the hip by Modano, and then maybe the puck hit him in an open spot. Mike, and look at he's right over at the waist in all kinds of pain.
Konstantin Rogatin is tending to him at the bench. Meanwhile, this is sailed ahead for Gianta, moving in and shooting and getting a piece of it. That time was Nabokov. Protected along the boards. Brian Ralston back for Gomez, but kept alive by Chris Chelios. Sent around now for Ralston. Ralston spins, drags, shoots, but the net is dislodged.
Matthew Schneider, the defenseman, right in front, trying to tell the referee that it wasn't his fault. But no question the net was off the mooring in the stoppage of play. Nabokov, the goaltender, had a rough start with San Jose, but had his game go much better in the last month or so. There's a person that helps him who lives in St. Paul, Minnesota. He's a goaltending coach. What a save. His name is Warren Strelo, and I'm sure he's watching. Warren Strelo is the goalie coach for San Jose. He was also the goalie coach for Jim Craig at the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid. One of the great goalie coaches ever is Warren Strelo.
This tapped out to center. What an exciting time he had 26 years ago tomorrow. Team USA, of course, had to go 2 days later and beat Finland, fell behind, but did, and got the gold medal. Ovechkin centers, and it comes all the way back. Settled down by Tootin, chipped on ahead. Conroy outlets to Keith Tkachuk. Tkachuk peels off, has a man breaking, and shoots one that's deflected up to the high glass, as getting in the way of that was Volchenkov. Tkachuk sends it back on now for Blake. Dropped it on through, hoping for a pass completion that just did not work. Blake with a pass ahead. Crisply onto the stick of Tkachuk this time, and it's forced back in, and a change in lines for Team USA.
You folks have a chance to see Ovechkin skate. Look at the skates. He's got red blades. They're red. Matches the outfit.
Here's Doug Weight. Drive by Guerin, went off a leg. Drive by Leopold, went off a leg. 2 more shots blocked by the Russians. Getting in the way of that was Volchenkov. Back at cent now. Doug Weight cruises, shoots, fought off by Nabokov. Weight again, but that wouldn't get to the front because of Fedor Tootin.
And Hatcher was in front, Mike. There's a defenseman in front of Russia's net almost every play.
Not a small one either. 6'5", 235 pounds. Away from the reach of Guerin. Backhanded in by Ottawa's defenseman Anton Volchenkov, playing for Russia. Long toss is deflected back in by Guerin. Another change in lines for Peter Laviolette's Team USA.
USA, too many men on the ice. Oh, way too many. 2 of them are at the bench. 4 more skating, and the goaltender, or I meant Russia, pardon me. And the Team USA bench, they saw it. They were standing up. They were banging the boards, getting all the officials' attention. It'll be a too many men on the ice penalty, without question. There was 2 headed to the bench. There was 4 others skating in the Russian zone plus the goaltender, and not a happy time. There's 3 there. 4 if you look up towards the bench. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Plus the goaltender 7. So there's 7 players there, no question. And I think Team USA really was sharp at the bench to let the officials know.
Last time they had a power play, they scored on it. Brian Ralston is able to bring it ahead. Ralston gains the zone, tried to shuffle it on to Cole. It's cleared all the way back down and blocked by Esch. 100 seconds to go on this power play. 7:45 gone, second period. It is a 60-minute game. When we get to the quarterfinals, they get a winner every time, whether it is by overtime or by shootout. But you can still have ties tonight. For that reason, it is not possible at this moment to know who Russia will play tomorrow. But USA will play Finland, and we get an offside call.
If Russia plays Canada,
could happen.
Yeah. The winner of the Canadian game, whoever they play, the winner of that game will play the winner of the USA-Finland game. That's what I was told. So we're trying to get this all figured out, and it's going right down to the wire. Especially the Slovakia-Sweden game. That means a lot, as does this one, whether or not Russia wins it. So that'll sort it out in about another 2 hours.
A shot is answered by Nabokov from Doug Weight into some traffic, but Malkin had it back checked away. It's taken on by Scott Gomez. Pivots, hands to the back now. Lyles got it across. Rafalski angled, taken by Gianta, shaken around to Weight. Turned back on to Gomez again. Gomez drops it back to Doug Weight. Fed one, deep slot. Rafalski, a shot deflected, hit off a leg, spiked high up over the top of the crossbar against the glass by Gianta. To the back, Rafalski walking on his Lyle, shooting, pad stop, rebound, Gianta. Oh, and that one was blocked aside as getting in the way of it was Shashinsky. Picked up by Gomez, around behind, trying to protect his weight. It skipped by to Brian Gianta. Allowed to go to Gomez. Fed one in front, Rafalski didn't get much wood on it.
Great back check job by Malkin, as there's now 12 seconds to go on this power play. Team USA's power play is coming alive. That was great work, some great shots, great blocks by both teams' players, and Nabokov was good in goal, but it looks sharp.
12 shots have been blocked by Russia, 6 in each period, some significant ones here, as out of the box is Ovechkin. Team USA with it. Tkachuk gives behind. A feed in front by Conroy. That one ricocheted aside and is just played back to center where Chris Chelios, the captain, 44 years of age, turns it back along now to Matt Schneider. Schneider able to filter it ahead. The pass on the wing is deflected away from Conroy. Moves in there with Tootin. It's picked up by Tkachuk. Tkachuk crosses now, letting a shot go that's blocked off by Victor Kozlov. Outletted all the way back down, and it will go for an icing past the halfway point nearly in this period, just short by 3 seconds of halfway in the game.
Well, the team from the United States just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. Watch Gomez, 11. He's smart. Moves the puck around. That's Doug Weight. There's Gionta with it. The Russians keep them to the outside, and then there's the play. And Malkin had dropped down and stopped the shot on goal from Rafalski. But again, Mike, same theme. Defenseman jumping to the net for Team USA.
Hatcher a shot, and that one blocked off by Nabokov. Protecting is Wisniewski. That one skipped back out to center. Korolyuk with it there. Big blast is trapped and then dropped and then put into play by Robert Esche. Hatcher had trouble with that as rushing in on the forecheck for the Russians that time was Taratukin. Sent back up the boards and played back on now for control back out by Mike Knuble. Gave it over to Mark Parrish from the New York Islanders. That centering pass is flagged down by Modano. Sent back to Leopold. Leopold a wrister. It rattled wide. Centering pass by Modano is cleaned back out by Wisniewski.
Yeah, Russians are playing rope-a-dope right now. What they're trying to do is take care of the front of their net. They don't mind icing the puck. Team USA is pressuring. They're sending defensemen in, which is how Peter Laviolette coaches his Carolina Hurricane Hockey Club. The only concern would be if Russia gets that 2-on-1 they're waiting for, the counter play, trapping a defenseman. And for a goaltender like Robert Esche, and I played against the Russians, there's nothing worse than sitting down there watching your team try to score, and then all of a sudden you get a 2-on-1 against you, or a breakaway.
Well, it sure worked earlier. A breakaway goal on the one, a 2-on-1 on the other. And the other is the goal of decision in this game right now. That was Malkin on a short-handed goal earlier. Korolyuk on a breakaway.
There's no question Team USA is taking the play to the Russian team.
Kovalev with it, drops it on backhand. It's turned back over, might be an odd man rush. Bill Guerin nudges it back out. Walk back ahead now by Hedican, drops it off to Guerin. Guerin banged it behind. Hedican there allows it to go to Doug Weight. He's got Drury, fed it back to him, but it's cut off and started out by Ilya Kovalchuk. Nicely knifed away by Drury. Fiddled off by Weight, brought on by Hedican, given to Guerin. That one pinballed loose and bounced on back. Brought in by Chelios, and offside is called. And a head-hunting shot after the whistle.
While the puck was on edge, Chelios shot the puck at the whistle and right beside Markov's ear, who plays in Nashville. I mean, right by his ear and over the net and into the glass. Drury with a great play defensively. Here comes a shot at the whistle. Looking over to the right side, you see Markov here. Here comes the puck. Oh, my. Just missed him. Anyway, here we go. U.S. is doing everything. Yeah, they can't score, though. The one power play goal, they're pressuring, and they've got a different looking attack. More relaxed with the puck, and the defensemen are in on the play.
Boy, to see this skill level, too, that's being employed tonight is great fun as well. We hope you're enjoying it. Karatanov moves back in, lost the puck. Dump back ahead, Brian Gionta is able to drop it back. Ralston moves ahead along with Scott Gomez. Try to force it a second time, but that is just settled down by Malkin. Around behind, just shuffleboarded it on through Gionta, and then turns it on back deeper. Malkin is only 19 years of age. Meanwhile, off the boards taken by Gomez. Gomez protects and hands back onto Ralston. Brian Ralston back to Gomez. Lobbed one, and he had to lob it to get it through Malkin. Poked along by Ralston. Taken by Gionta. Out to Gomez. Looking, and his shot came right back to him.
Malkin's pretty good defensively. He learns that from Dave King, as we mentioned earlier. Pierre McGuire talking about it. Malkin, he's good in his own zone.
Yeah, 3 great defensive plays just on this shift by him. Schneider dumped it around. Gionta there. Centers. It's paddled away by Nabokov, but taken by Ralston. Then Gomez. Then Gionta. In the way, Gonchar. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the second period, and icing is called once again.
What do we have for shots this period? 6 for the U.S., 6 for the Russian club, but the puck itself has been inside, I think, the Russian zone way more than in the U.S. zone. Their coach, Krikhanov, the Russian coach, Krikhanov, in this game, remember that big, huge upset in Belarus, knocking off Sweden which really upset the Olympic pairings for the Final Four teams.
That was
he was the coach. Yeah, 0-2 in Salt Lake City.
Crossover move, and the puck comes right in on goal as Ovechkin tried to shake his way by John Michael Lyles, but that didn't work.
Now, Belarus never qualified for these Olympics, but guess who was over in Belarus for a week during this Olympic break? Glenn Hanlon, who coaches the Washington Capitals over in Belarus. He's trying to help their program because they would like to qualify for the World Championships. So Krikanov moves back to Russia, takes care of them. Glenn Hanlon steps in to help a country in need, and he's really enjoyed working with the Belarus people.
And his name is now Hanlonov. Rolled back down. He enjoyed his time there, and when he coached them in the World Championships last year, they said, would you like to just help us out, see how things go? Well, they went really well. He's the guy that, when you were talking about him, is a coach of the Washington Capitals and has a lot of wizardry to watch when it comes to Ovechkin every night.
No question.
But you know, we had a story earlier in the Olympic tournament that dealt with one John Parco, a member of the Italian team, and we need to make things right here.
Yes, his father was watching in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and I mentioned, it was me, I mentioned.
Oh, I suckered you.
Well, no, but Parco, we mentioned, he changed his name to Parco from Porco. Porco it means pig in Italian, and his future wife wouldn't marry him unless he changed his name. It's not true. He met his future wife 2 years before he changed the name. And I talked to him today. He told me about it. He says, Dad called, and we wanted to make sure we got it right. I apologize to him. What a nice guy. The Italian guys that played in this tournament representing their country here were just a great group of guys. And for Mr. Parco, we apologize.
Yeah, changed it 2 years before he met the young lady who is now his wife. And he is the leading goal scorer for Italy in the tournament for the Italian team.
And has loved the experience of being in the Olympics. And they tied today, by the way, against the Swiss, correct?
Yes, a 3-3 tie.
3-3 game. The Swiss, they border each other. That was a real battle on the ice.
And it was a surprising outcome for the Swiss, not in that game, but in this tournament, in the preliminary round. Centering pass comes in front. Second in their pool, ahead of Canada and the Czech Republic. This one knocked ahead and controlled eventually by Team USA. Brought on by Mike Modano, dropped to Rafalski, to the slot, and shot went wide by Knuble. Brought back ahead now by Afinogenov. Maxim Afinogenov with a lot of moves there. Tucked one to the outside that is played by Wisniewski. Dropped back in, but Brett Hennigan will take care of it for Team USA. But then a pass stiffly went off a stick. Korolyuk was bodied away as Knuble just got in his way. So now Hennigan, then Modano, a one-goal game. Little under 6 minutes to play, second period. Kovalchuk around behind. Datsuk, a shot that went off a skate. Twisted back around by Danny Markov. Datsuk able to control in traffic. Kovalchuk turning there. Has Kovalev nearby. Decides to do some magic himself. Kovalchuk to the outside. At the front of the net, Kovalev. It's shoved to the back again. Markov with that forced it right to Rafalski. And Rafalski just lays it back down. And icing is waved off. So a long toss by Nabokov handcuffs them there. Or they might have been able to take advantage of a Team USA change. Brought on by Datsuk again. Feeds one on across. Gonchar, a shot! He scores!
Baby, what a shot.
It was Markov driving in 52, not 55. I apologize, but the effect is a 3-1 lead for Russia. What a shot.
Oh, I'll say, Mike, Andrei Markov, man. Here's the play in the middle, and Datsuk sees him coming. He draws everybody to him. There's the open spot, and over the catching glove went the shot. It was a lethal wrist shot, but this is what the Russians can do. You carry the play, you carry the play, you carry the play, and all of a sudden they get a chance. Oh. And there's a gorgeous shot by Markov. Just a gorgeous shot, top corner, and it's 3-1. The only goal scored so far here with 5 minutes to go in the period. The only goal scored, and that goes to the Russian club. Markov plays for the Montreal Canadiens. He's one of their go-to defensemen. Boy, did he read the play. And again, it's Datsuk. Datsuk makes plays that are just remarkable. The pass across, perfectly on his stick. All he had to do was just load it and let her go. That Datsuk pass was from the other side of the ice. It was right on the tape of the blade. and Markov with a brilliant shot. Great play.
Boy, short side high. But you've talked before about how the blade of the stick was opened up. They are still reviewing this goal down below, and that's why we have a delay.
The referee's right in one of the penalty boxes, the Russian penalty box.
Paul Dvorsky is chatting upstairs.
I don't know what that would be about, Mike. Under review, it went in. I know it went in. Did it not?
Sure looked like it.
We'll try and figure out exactly why they had the review. Here, well, he'll give the motion, goal or no goal. Goal, yeah. And let's take a look at the left side of the goal net here and see exactly what they were looking at. Here's the puck. It's over the hand. Yeah, it's in. No question about it. But they just wanted to make sure. Starting to get this video stuff figured out, are they? There's the puck. It's in. Oh, they were wondering it maybe went through the side of the net, through the webbing. But it didn't. It was in clean.
So the hole for Team USA is now 2 goals. Late in the second period, on comes Mark Parrish. Parrish tried to feed one in front, but it was blocked off by the defense. Brian Ralston punched it on further. Parrish turned it behind there for Gomez. Nicely taken away and thrown back on by Malkin. This guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's back deep in his zone, helping the defense all the time and doesn't seem to mind the responsibility. I'm very impressed with that.
Here he is again. Malkin turning to the outside. Dumped one back on that is controlled by Shushinsky. Then Malkin reaching again. Shushinsky with it. Malcolm in the slot. Shushinsky tried to play it and couldn't. Scott Gomez turns. Russia in the midst of a change in lines right now as Chris Chelios, captain for Team USA, walks it ahead. Chelios plays the hard around that hopped off the boards in the back of the goal. Rather than swirling it around, he just tried to drive it in and take advantage of a carom. Blake with a pass across. Keith Tkachuk turns there. Forced around behind, knifed away from Blake. Half boards waiting is Leopold. Leopold pitched it behind. Tkachuk just bodied right off. Good play by Volchenkov, and we're going to get a penalty coming up.
Volchenkov was holding Tkachuk from behind, and I think that'll be the call. So Team USA, who scored a power play goal late in the first period to get on the board, could use one here. They will have a power play late in the second period. Here's Tkachuk. Turn around, make him go through your body. And you see the left arm of Markov really holding up Keith Tkachuk. So Ralston back at the point to play the power play. And we'll see if Team USA can get themselves back into this one, trailing by 2.
Tkachuk stays up front with Conroy and with Drury. Walked along now and handed to Ralston by Matthew Schneider, who gets it and fires, and a save made by Nabokov. Got the pad on that one. Ralston then around behind, a feed in front by Conroy, and taken out of the play was Tkachuk. Moving back out, Alexei Yashin with Victor Kozlov. The pass to him is whacked high to the corner by Ralston. Team USA shifts back to the offensive on this power play. Conroy moves in, got away from one. Conroy threw one in front, it went through Ralston. Held there by Tkachuk. To the back to Matthew Schneider. Wedged a little bouncer across that settled down by Drury. Gotten back to him again by Conroy. Sent to the point. Schneider a drive. Oh, and a little bump in front perhaps by Tkachuk as sitting down on his pants that time was Nabokov.
Yeah, but Tkachuk was a foot above the goal crease. He was fine.
Good refereeing, John. Around behind now. It's held by Conroy to the outside. Drury finesses. Gives it to the back. Schneider holds. Drury a shot and a pad stop made by Malakov. Or check that. By Nabokov in front. Onto the back once more. It's Schneider. Vlad will be glad to know he made the stop wherever he's watching. To the outside now it's Drury. Dealing it back in. It's fed back to him. They whip away at it with their sticks and cleared back down.
And the shots from the outside. Nabokov pure. Having a heck of a game in goal for Team Russia.
And so have been Fetisov and Kasatonov tonight.
And Larionov and Markov.
Back ahead, a shot by Lyles went wide. Hopped back over, and it's tipped back in some traffic, sent high into the air. And Korolyuk gets it knifed back to him. 18 left on the penalty kill. Walked on by Korolyuk and blasted. Oh, and that one hurt Rafalski. He's limping around out there, but is now able to play it. A penalty coming up to Russia. Rafalski shunted one that bounced on back. Still a delayed call. 3 seconds left on the 5-on-3. or check that on the 5-on-4. It eventually is a 5-on-3 because of the delayed call. Now it's walked back ahead by Gomez. Handed across to Knuble. Delayed call still. To the outside to Gomez once more. Gomez a shot. Another shot by Schneider is deflected away by the Russian defense.
Penalty called. Minute 31 to go. Rafalski blocked the shot. You're going to see the slap shot taken here by Korolyuk. Oh, Rafalski lifts one leg up, and of course it hits one of them, and he seems to be okay, but he took it hard. You know what? They made a goaltending change with the Russians, and we didn't know it, and I apologize.
Well, maybe it was Malakoff that made that statement.
Oh, we're going cross-eyed up here. Solikov is in there, not Nabokov, for this second period, and he's stopping everything.
Well, at any rate, Ralston, and getting a piece of that was Sokolov.
Well, we got it right now.
Well, we're 1 for 1. Actually 1 for about 20. Here it's sent back now to Ralston. Hands it on back once more. Given back to Ralston again. Right back over it comes for Gomez. Deals it around behind. Twirling the outside Waite. Hands it to the back to Ralston. Back on to Waite again. Then Ralston. Drive. Ricocheted loose. Waite angled one in front on Gomez. And then out of the net now scrambled Gianta. Gomez's shot looked like it hit the post. Gianta stashed it home. A power play goal. Past somebody. It's 3-2.
Solikov is a goaltender. He's been in there all period. We didn't realize it, and I apologize. And you're going to see Team USA get 2 power plays. Well, they get this one going here. I mean, they are moving the puck around. The puck has not got on. This kid in goal has stopped everything. Nabokov being rested, obviously, for tomorrow. And finally, the rebound goal as Gianta, who scores a ton of goals. He has 17 power play goals for the Devils. He just finds a loose puck. He was let go by the defender in front of the net. He'll just sort of stay in there. And Gomez was stopped. And then the backhand shot tapped in. We have a 3-2 game of 59 seconds to go in the period. The Russians pulled a fast one on us, Mike. They're resting Nabokov for tomorrow. Our apologies. Didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And Solikov's in there. Boy, he's come off the bench and played great.
I know in the World Cup, I guess it was called the Canada Cup in 1984, there was some finessing, not of goaltenders, but of forwards. One game in Winnipeg, they had 3 forwards change their jerseys so that the guy was a left shot in the first period, and strangely he's a right shot now, and he's got the same number.
These guys didn't change uniforms.
Oh, they sure didn't. No.
So our apologies. This I do know. Brian Rafalski has gone to the locker room. He blocked the shot, leg sore. He's going to be taking a little extra time to take care of it as the period's about to expire.
Here is Drury faking through traffic. Chris Drury there, dropped it back off. Bill Guerin helped it further. Gonchar sped it back up. Kept alive there by Drury. Banged back around for Bill Guerin. Protects, couldn't get to the front of the net. Guerin again in the last 9. A scramble at the front, and Leopold had a try that didn't go because of Sokolov. Then twisted in front. Oh, and that went off his pad to the corner. And the horn sounds to end the second period of a 1-goal game.
Well, a great period by Sokolov, who looked a lot like Nabokov in there. He had a very, very solid period. Made 10 saves, but the puck was in his end of the ice for the majority of the period. Team USA has scored 2 power play goals. Gianta has 1, and Ralston the other. Only 1 goal during that period by the defenseman Markov. Andrei Markov, and the Russian club with a 3-2 lead after 2 periods of play.
Entertaining game. They go to locker rooms that are only 6 feet apart. There was a little tension down there before the game. Might be some now. The studio and interviews coming up after this. And the Czechs will be against the Slovaks. So great matchups tomorrow for the quarterfinals. If you lose a quarterfinal game, no relegation or anything, you're done. You head back home. Gomez fed one back, sent on a cross for a pass in front, deflected by Ralston just wide. An early chance for the United States. Fed across now for Andrei Markov, and back in deep where it can be played by John Michael Lyles as the Russians make yet another change. Lyles steams it back in, slowed down by Sokolov, brushed loose by Modano, and then that sent back out. There can be no change in the standing position now with the Slovakia 3-0 win over Sweden. There was a little bit of intrigue in that game that John mentioned to many of you who are watching our earlier telecast involving Team Canada. But we'll get to that in a moment as, boy, runoff was Eric Cole, who has been a target in this series of games that have been played over here in Torino. Big imposing winger. I guess he becomes a target that way. So held now by Russia. Yashin, Esch, then Chelios. Crisply ahead now for Conroy. Hands up to Keith Tkachuk. Blasted it back in. Lifted on by Jason Blake. Tkachuk around behind. Trying to get away from Zhukov. To the outside, a shot is just grabbed and held by Sokolov.
Yep.
So that's what we have tomorrow. U.S., Finland, Canada, Russia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Sweden, and Switzerland.
That's something else. Czech Republic and Slovakia used to be called Czechoslovakia. They separated and don't much like each other.
Fierce.
Russia and Canada. That's been a battle for decades. That'll have great attention in Canada. The U.S., we were talking, they might have a good matchup with Finland. It'll probably be a low-scoring game. Teuvo Selanne for Finland has 20 goals scored in his Olympic career in 22 games. How about that for a number?
You would have to go to the archaic era to find anything that productive in an Olympic career. We apologize for anybody who might have been living or playing hockey in the 20s or 30s.
Now, I don't think, Mike, that Ryan Rafalski has returned for this third period. He blocked a shot late in the second period. He had one leg up in the air. The puck hit something knee down on one of his legs. And I hope it's not a serious problem for Team USA, Pierre.
Brian was telling me in between the benches that actually he felt he was going to be okay and that it wasn't going to be a problem going forward, but clearly maybe they evaluate said precautionary reasons we're going to keep him in here and not risk any chance of hurting him further.
Sure, the more important game is coming up for them tomorrow, as all of the qualifying that the preliminaries are set up for have been done as Hedican blasted a shot wide. One thing that Team USA will want to do between now and the Finnish game tomorrow is sharpen up their shooting eyes, because the better chances that they've had, aside from the 2 power play goals, better chances have found them shooting wide of the net. Brought back in now by Gomez. He's got Gionta, fed it across on a ricochet, and it went off Markov and went wide, and then the net dislodged.
Markov made a good play. A real good play, blocking the pass. Turnover as Team USA battles Hedican with a nice play along the boards. There's Parrish. He chips the puck ahead. It traps everybody, and all of a sudden it's a mini 3-on-2, and Markov blocked the pass. Heck of a play by him. You know, there was a little ice before the game with these two clubs. Their locker rooms are right across the hall from each other, about 8 feet apart. The music in the Russian room was loud, and I know it had to be Darius Kasparaitis running the music. He's loud, and it's crazy music. Team USA didn't like it much and asked him to turn it down, or at least shut the door.
Chris Chelios has a way of asking politely, doesn't he? That was at least the reports we got from the hallway, that he was the one that is the captain for Team USA. You're in charge of everything.
And Kasparaitis does the music for the Rangers before games when they get ready for the games. It's awful.
Hard of hearing, or just likes to be inspirational?
Loud and very different.
Oh, down goes Mike Modano. Moving on is Eric Cole. Cole to the board, stepped right by his man. A penalty coming up as Cole got a slash for his trouble. Lifted around behind by Mike Knuble, and eventually it is touched. Power play for Team USA.
It looks like Karatonov, who plays in the Super League in Russia, is the player headed across. You see Paul Dvorsky make the sign. It's a slashing call. 21 white. You see Cole go by him. And bit of a hook. Yeah, just a little bit of a hook. Not much of a hook, but he's in the box.
Must have been something more to it. The signal was a slash. So I'm not certain if it was out of our camera range or maybe that was the definition. And we have a linesman that went down off the faceoff.
Here comes Stan Wong of Team USA. He's a medical man, and he gets some help from the referee now to come over and help out the linesman. Watch as the stick, I think, comes up right in there. Oh gosh, Doug Waite's tick, the blade of it actually knocked the visor up. Oh, the linesman went straight down. We saw Brian Berard, playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, have a stick actually go underneath the visor some time ago and do some serious damage to one of his eyes. And here, Stan Wong is making him stay down. He could be in a little bit of shock if it's an eye problem.
They do have standby officials for these games too.
He's okay, Mike. More the bridge of the nose. Boy, that's awfully close, isn't it? I don't think they're going to have to change. He's on his knees.
Thomas Anderson of Sweden is the standby official here, who could be either a referee in the case of an injury or a linesman.
And Wong, the fight man. He's got that stuff out there that stops the bleeding and closes the cut right away. So we know it's not near the eye, thankfully for that. Oh boy, good news, real good news.
Steve Miller, NHLer from Stratford, Ontario, is the man who got clipped. And going to go to the bench. Apparently there's something about the visor too.
He's got to clean it off, make sure he can see properly. I think there was still a little bit of oozing from the actual cut itself, but he's okay and ready to go. Good for him. Tough guy. They've done a great job, I think, in this tournament, the officials. That is one area that's really improved with international hockey, using people from all over the world. I still think the best, period, are from North America, without question. And here we go.
Face-off won by Waite. Drive! Oh, and a scorcher by Matthew Schneider got the glass. Another shot, and that one fought off by Sokolov. Scramble, and it's sent back along. Brian Ralston able to keep it. Wheels it on back on this power play. Team USA's goals have come tonight on the power play. This one went high and out of play. A little bit of an argument there between Brian Giunta and Danny Markov.
And then Doug Waite skated over to Markov and had some words with him. It was interesting how this face-off worked. Schneider was way over on the right side. Doug Waite pulled it over. A nice pass across. It's almost like it was a set play. And that shot just skimmed over top of the crossbar. Schneider stayed way out of traffic just in case the puck came to him, and it did. Matthew Schneider, born in New York City. His dad was in sales, and they lived there. And there's a save. Another one.
Ralston's bullet is stopped by Sokolov.
Ralston can bring it. He can really bring it. Plays for the Minnesota Wild. He's a free agent signing by their hockey club, and a real smart signing by their boss, Doug Risebrough. He has played great this season.
Largest crowd of the tournament so far, 9,378 watching this Russia-USA battle. Nice hold by Matthew Schneider. Back across for Ralston. Came back to him off a reflex that came from Korolyuk. Ralston shoved, but he got it across to Schneider. Drive! Score! Deflection at the front of the net. Scott Gomez had his stick there. Tie game.
Matthew Schneider, you called it, Mike. Kept the puck in. Gomez in front, a double deflection off a skate off a body. Schneider kept the play alive. In front, Giunta's there. Play moved down low. Still battling along the boards. And here comes a shot, and there's Gomez up over top. Beautiful play along the boards by both Schneider and Ralston. Double deflection. Off the skate, off the knee, and we're tied up at 3. And the power play for Team USA is alive and well, Pierre.
John, all tournament long, we've talked about the importance of face-off play, especially on big ice. Doug Waite, during that last power play sequence, won 3 straight face-offs. One of them on the Schneider chance, one of them that was denied, which created another chance, which eventually led to that goal. Face-off play is huge.
Hey, thanks, Pierre. You're right. He schooled Tartukin, number 22, who's playing for Russia. He schooled him in the face-off circle. The face-offs are now 35-12 in favor of Team USA.
Alex Kovalev brought it back in for Russia. Tried to force it through Hatcher. That didn't pan out. Kovalev, without a helmet, picks it back up again. and has readjusted. You cannot be involved in the play, but you can put it back on and then resume play as we get a stoppage of play.
Take another look at the goal. Scotty Gomez out of Anchorage, Alaska. Read the play, goes in front. Here comes the puck off the skate off his body. He's outside the goal crease. No question, he was not inside the paint. So we're tied up at 3. Gomez started playing hockey at 4 years of age, and he was told by a coach he shouldn't play.
Why?
And he still pursued. Coach didn't think he was going to be good enough at 4 years of age.
Seems like an early time to tell a guy he's not going to be good enough.
His dad wouldn't let him quit. His dad's a good man, pushes him along, makes him play hard all his life. And there he is.
Boy, some hard work by Malkin as well as Lyles, and they may go back at each other again if it came that way, but it didn't. It's outletted by Team USA. Brought on by Hedican. Drive! Pad stop made by Sokolov. Team USA continues on the attack. Hedican gave it on across Knuble, then to Drury, then to Knuble again. Gives it up the slot. Chelios a shot wide. Rebound. Tip to the corner. Chelios moves in and shakes his man there. Chris Chelios lobbed it behind. Eric Cole has it. Cole away from Kasparaitis. Pivoted. Shook one around in front. A backhand jam attempt by Knuble failed. Malkin going to work on him. They swirl to the outside. It's Cole right out in front. Chipped one there, but it's forced away by the Russian defense. Kept alive by Matthew Schneider. Set up for a drive by Cole. That's held by Sokolov.
Oh, another good shift by Team USA. Since Russia scored the 3rd goal to make it 3-1 at the time in favor of Russia, the U.S. club has had 13 straight shots. They've not given up a shot since that last goal. Look at the hard work. 3-on-3 along the boards. Team USA winning a lot of the battles. Out they come. That's how you start your offense. Defense first. And there's a good save as Sokolov able to move out.
Oh, Guerin a shot, and that went high off of Sokolov. Ripped around by Volchenkov, and it went all the way back down past Leopold. Charging after it, Alexander Ovechkin. Ovechkin has Victor Kozlov there, but it's taken away by Bill Guerin. Started ahead now to Doug Weight. Weight slings it back in again. Took the carom back over for Mark Parrish. Took the heavy hit that came from Volchenkov. Played back around by Weight. Got it on back for Darian Hatcher. Then Guerin. Shot came right back to him. Pretty good challenge that came against him from Alexei Yashin. Pivoting away is Weight now. Doug Weight dropped it off, hoping for Leopold, but that didn't work at all. Weight able to weave his way through the traffic, gain the zone, and pitch it back in.
Sokolov playing well in net, even though it's a 3-3 game. He came in and replaced Nabokov after the first period of play. I wonder if Warren Strelo taught him too. He's pretty good.
Chelios the collision. Well, Warren has helped a lot of goaltenders over the span of the last quarter century, hasn't he?
Oh, very much so. Lives in St. Paul. He was a great friend of Herb Brooks.
Ralston moved in, and that one poked away. Thrown around behind, and it skipped away from Ralston. Outletted by Andrei Markov, who has a goal in the game. Up in again, up crosses, and a shot is held by Ash. The first shot on goal of the period, and it was a strong one.
And 8 minutes, 13 seconds into the period before Ash finally had to make a save. And a Finneganov plays for the Buffalo Sabres. He's got crazy legs. He can skate left, right. He changes speeds, changes directions, finally used the screen and had the shot. And full marks to Robert Esch. I mean, you're sitting back there going, am I going to get a shot? How tough it's going to be. Your head starts playing games with you. You've got to focus, and he did.
Markov a shot, and a leaping block by Robert Esch.
Kovalov had the puck come back into his face. As the whistle sounds, Kovalov, I think the puck, as the Russian net is off its mooring, I think it has been for a while. They missed it as they dropped the puck. But Kovalov went to the net, a high shot that ricocheted off of Esch, came back, and I believe got him in the face. Here's the shot. It's a high shot. There's Kovalov. There's the puck. Bang, yeah, off the side of his face. Kovalov during the offseason, or during last season when they had the lockout, no NHL hockey, went across a good portion of Russia. He has his own aircraft in the States. He rented one there, flew across a good portion of the country, and was able to hand out and run hockey camps and give out equipment and jerseys to the kids. And the last couple of cities he went to, he had a helicopter, and he I believe now has not only his license to fly a twin-engine aircraft, has a helicopter license. So he's able to do it to really help the kids across his homeland. This kid, Alexei Kovalov, is one of the better human beings you'll ever meet. Pierre.
Right on, John. As a matter of fact, he does fly helicopters. He lives in Montreal right now because he plays for the Montreal Canadiens, much like a former great star that played against you in the 1979 Stanley Cup final. Guy Lafleur is a registered helicopter pilot as well.
Charging in on this one now is Blake. Punched on back. We get aviation notes of all kinds here.
Well, yeah, you know, Kovalov will leave Montreal and fly down to New York, park the aircraft, and head to Brighton Beach, where they have a great Russian community, and buy the Russian food and see the Russian people, and then get in the aircraft, fly back home to Montreal.
That one snapped up and held by Maxim Sokolov. You know, as a youngster, I remember watching on television the Sapporo Olympic Games, Robbie Fatorik and Mark Howe at age 16, and all of those players, and so many sporting events on NBC during the early years. And we lost one of the great broadcasters of all time, Curt Gowdy. Hank Aaron's 715th home run. I mean, so many things, the Immaculate Reception, so many things that he brought to us and made exciting. And he was studio host of those 1972 games when Team USA came in, and the expectations were that they were not going to do well at all. Well, they got the silver medal. An impressive year for them. And we want to pass along our condolences, and I know the network echoes this and has probably talked about it earlier today. We just can't monitor everything said, but to Curt Gowdy's family.
I saw Bob Costas do a real nice thing today, real nice, for the Gowdy family, and out of Wyoming, the great state of Wyoming. So yes, I agree with you, Mike. Many, many memories, without question.
Well, here is Doug Weight on the faceoff. Came back along now for Mark Parrish. There is Kasparaitis on him. Then back along for Bill Guerin. Kasparaitis able to tip that one away. Kasparaitis was one of the leading forces on the second goal of this game, getting the primary assist on a 2-on-1 break, and some very nice passing as Malkin is hit by Doug Weight. It's played back in again by Bill Guerin. Guerin has a man breaking. It's Lyles through one that was slowed right down by Malkin, who has been impressive tonight defensively. Through the legs pass back to Kasparaitis, then on to Malkin, who brings it ahead. Malkin, a pass across, score! Ovechkin from Malkin. 4-3, Russia.
You mentioned earlier Malkin, and we've talked about his defensive prowess, but how about the goal and assist he has? He's starting in his own zone. Kasparaitis, look at his head up, looking to find the right man. There it is. Malkin, the give and go, and then the gorgeous pass across, and Ovechkin will finish. The pass had to be behind Ovechkin because he wants to one-time it. He's a right-handed shot, boom, and Ovechkin will kiss and wave to the crowd. He always does. That's a great goal. And Kasparaitis has been on 2 plays that Malkin has been involved with, and Malkin's been in on 2 gorgeous plays in this game offensively, along with all that stuff in the other end of the ice.
So proud to be an Olympian. His mother was a 2-time gold medalist in basketball. As you see the fancy skates there, she wore number 8, so he wears number 8.
He's a nice kid too. When you have a chance to watch Washington Capitals player like we do go and broadcast the games, you talk to people, you talk to the players. This kid loves hockey, loves the NHL, loves Washington, D.C., and has absolute flavor and color to his game, and is a strong addition to the NHL, a real strong addition. Let's watch some of his stuff. Washington Capitals, how about that goal?
Wonderful.
That is unbelievable against the Phoenix Coyotes. And he kissed and waved again. He's strong, Mike. You shake hands with him, you wonder where your hand went.
As Pierre was pointing out earlier, part of the young crowd of players that have come into this league all at once. 2 draft years came all at the same time. He's only 20 years of age. Malkin is only 19. Pierre?
Alexander Ovechkin's wearing a new pair of skates, fellas. One of the reasons why the last time, or one of the last games he played in the NHL before he came over, he absolutely tore the boot open when he was stopping to make a hard play on goal. George McPhee, one of John's former teammates with the New York Rangers, was telling me it was one of the most incredible things he'd ever seen in hockey. A player's skate ripping when he was trying to stop and make a play.
Here is Eric Cole sending it around behind. Chris Drury with it there. Shoved off by Aratukin. And he has quite a battle with Drury. Forced around behind. Eric Cole, a wraparound, he scores! Schneider was at the front of the net too, with a big hulking winger out of the Carolina Hurricanes. Wheeled from behind. Stashed it in a 4-4 tie.
10:38 into the period. You know, Chris Chelios, I think, faked he was going to shoot the puck around the corner. Instead went back to the net, and the goaltender wasn't ready. If that hits the net, it's in. Instead, the puck was deep, and here you're going to see Drury on the puck, not out-muscled, support from Cole. You'll see Cole come back in behind. Look at Drury's work. One-on-one, he wins it. Knuble back. And there's the wraparound right through and underneath Sokolov, and you can tell on that play that he's not in the back, Nabokov in goal. I can tell you that. Nabokov wouldn't have allowed that to happen. But give Cole credit. He's worked hard. He's been bumped around a lot. He finally gets one, and we have a 4-4 game.
Clarkson product, 26 goals in 57 games, nearly a point a game with the Carolina Hurricanes.
The entire line that was on the ice at the time in on the play, Cole, Knuble, and Drury. Drury in particular, great work along the boards.
Madano lobs, Gianta unable to take that on the bounce. Well, John, earlier tonight you and I were talking about what Team USA needed to do. I mean, it's odd to think of a game with Russia as a tune-up, but really for both teams it is to prepare them for the single knockout that you face tomorrow. You lose, you go home beginning tomorrow, as we have trimmed the ranks from 12 down to 8 today. Team USA will play Finland. Team Russia will play Team Canada. But in terms of the tune-up, first of all, you said they needed goals. They needed to get some kind of cohesiveness going. How do you feel about what you've seen so far?
Well, their power play, you have 3 goals in the power play, so that's really been a blessing for them to see that come alive. The only negative I would say is what they've given up. The chances against are too wide open.
Drive is saved by Ash off the stick of Volchenkov after some very fancy work by Pavel Datsyuk, and he's got it again.
Mike, 2 2-on-1 goals against and 1 breakaway goal against. Some of those off turnovers. And Finland is the type of team. Whoa.
Oh, what a shot by Kovalev. It's 5-4 Russia.
Kovalev usually shoots high. That time he put it low inside the post, and it's 5-4 as this game is nuts here in the 3rd period. You're going to see the puck get up towards the blue line, but not out. Team USA, now as the puck goes out, change. And as they change, some ice opens up, and not a screen shot, but a perfect shot. Great shot by Kovalev. Man, when he hits a shot with the power that he has, he's something. He felt after the 3rd game of the tournament, he didn't have his legs yet. And then after the 4th game, he felt better, and you can see here, he's doing all right. That was some shot. But what I was getting at before the goal was that Finland's a team, Mike, that has a great power play. We've talked about it. 11 for 33. That's 1/3, 33% during the tournament. They also have only given up how many goals? 2. Imagine that. So they get their goals by defense first and having a counter like Russia is, or by working on their power play. So they're either a counter team or a power play team, and that's what Team USA has to do tomorrow. Really be aware and be patient with the puck, not try plays that don't work and create that turnover that Finland's looking for that will give them that chance to score goals.
They're only averaging 4 shorthanded situations a game, so they're very disciplined. They don't take many penalties, Finland. So Team USA will have to, if they get a power play, have to be very good. They've gotten that sharpened up tonight, as you mentioned, as we're down to the last 7 minutes and 20 seconds of the game. Sort of chaotic. 3 goals on 3 shots in less than 2 minutes here, changing the score a lot. Viktor Kozlov moves in, having to outfight John Michael Lyles. Puck scaled around behind, and it's Chelios to take over. Now curling is Schneider.
Yeah, Russia, 4 men back. 4 men back. Almost 5 to center ice. They're back. They're trying to protect the 1-goal lead and counter again. Uh-oh. Ralston got clipped.
Getting back to his feet, is moving on now as Kozlov. Ralston staying up in the play as Kozlov sailed it around behind, and it's Ovechkin. Swaggers by Gianta. A strong shot on goal is answered by Ash. Turn back over again. Kozlov fed it around, but Chelios will take over there, though Ovechkin's close by. Handed on to Matthew Schneider. Nudged on to Gomez as Team USA makes a change in forwards as well as defense. Gomez sent it back in, and Eric Cole burrows in after it. Canceled out by Vitaly Vishnevsky. Meanwhile, it comes to the outside and is forced back to the front of the net, but off Vishnevsky again. Closed off by Darian Hatcher, who was all the way down there. And Hatcher retrieves at center. 6:05 to go in the game. Pop flied back in, and it will be Vishnevsky to take it. Russia making a change now. Team USA already has. The bouncer comes back to Leopold with Hatcher. On comes Cole. Scorer of the last USA goal on a wraparound. Tries to flip one that is cut off and sent by Drury all the way back down, and Esch will come out to get it. Ralston, Gianta, Gomez, and Cole, the goals for the United States. Korolyuk, Malkin, Markov, Ovechkin, and Kovalev for Team Russia. Should mention it was Andrei Markov. Of the two Markovs who did that, that one is fired into the glove and out again of the goaltender Sokolov by John Michael Lyles, and so again play halted with 5:21 to go.
The Kovalev double pump lets her rip inside the post. Gorgeous shot by Kovalev. Absolutely gorgeous.
There was a question about Marty Brodeur's health in the game today. Tweaked his knee. What did you learn after the game?
It is the knee, we thought. The left knee. He did tweak it, as you said, Mike, late in the NHL season prior to the Olympic break. He says he's fine. He's okay. They had the doctor look at it. Wayne Gretzky, he also went down and checked on it during the intermission to make sure Marty could continue. The thing is with Marty Brodeur, he wanted to play badly to get into a groove to be able to play in the next few games for Canada. And they're going to have a big one tomorrow.
Kovalev a shot, and it went wide of the long side, and failing to hold that, Andrei Markov. Gliding back is Zhukov. Run off, though, by Jason Blake. Blake had it knocked away and then is crunched to the boards by Kovalev. Side of the net, ricocheted back on, and Modano centers one. Backhander by Tkachuk is fought off by Sokolov. A penalty is going to be coming up against Team USA. Ilya Kovalchuk on the delayed call. 4.5 left. Kovalchuk's pass ricocheted to Kovalev, and then he was given a good whack by Lyles, but it'll be a shorthanded situation now for the United States.
It's Lyles who's going to the box. He's the one that got caught deep in the zone, as Team USA have activated their defensemen a lot in this game, and Lyles was the person that put the hook into the Russian player deep in the Russian zone. So I think he was a little frustrated and gave Kovalev an extra swat. Power play for the Russian squad in a 5-4 game. And it's interesting, they go with the all-Russian line from the, or at least the line that plays together in the Russian Super League, the Malkin-centered line.
Maxim Shushinsky and Andrei Teratukin are the wingers, 33 and 22 respectively, as it is brought ahead, and the hard around is played by Fedor Tutin. Deflected off the shelf near Cole, and a leaping hit into him by Malkin. And here's a drive that went off the pad of Robert Ashe from Tutin. Then back out at center. It is Chelios. Winding down to the last 350 of the last game that will be played in the preliminaries. There will be a winner in the rest. There may be a winner in this. Russia is ahead by 1. Then again, maybe not. You can have a tie in this one last game, and then that will do it. They will play a 10-minute sudden death overtime, and if necessary after that, a shootout. Gold medal game is 20 minutes. Oh, look at this. Ovechkin with some fancy work. Viktor Kozlov there. Ovechkin turns it back on for Alexei Yashin. Back to the point, got it back again from Kasparaitis, and fired one. Save made by Ashe, and the rebound hopped loose. And reaching it is Hatcher. Spirited back off the stick of Craig Conroy, and Kasparaitis twirls back.
You were impressed with the moves of Ovechkin. I thought the best move he made was when he avoided the big hit from Hatcher. Hatcher tried to nail him.
Kozlov around behind. Thrown to the front off the stick of Yashin. Well, the pairings have been determined for the quarterfinals and the matchups tomorrow. And so, regardless of which team that you're watching, that you're cheering for, or during the course of the day, because we know we've gone to a lot of parts of the country where there are many nationalities and many backgrounds, you just have to thrill to the quality of the play that we've seen. The opportunities that are generated, the spirited play of forwards like we're seeing here for Russia, the terrific goaltending that we've seen, the great team cohesiveness of Finland, Team USA's next opponent.
Well, Mike, it's my 5th Olympics. And as far as preliminary rounds go, this is by far the best hockey I've seen through a preliminary round. They've played for keeps. They've played hard. They have thrilled us many nights. Watch Hatcher. Whoa, and Ovechkin put the brakes on. It was able to avoid him and then got the puck back, and then Hatcher goes and plays him nicely. Darian Hatcher, to me, of all the players I've seen so far play for Team USA, I think he's impressed me the most with his tactics and the way he's been able to shut down some players, and he'll undoubtedly play against, I would think, Teemu Selanne in the game tomorrow, as Selanne and his group have played great, talking about the Finnish hockey club. I'm just guessing, of course, I'm not the USA coach by any means, but he's been able to do well, not only against bigger forwards, but also tricky forwards and some smaller, fast forwards. I'm really impressed with him.
What about
Team USA? They're down by a goal, Mike, and everything seems to be a tight game with them, down by a goal. But they've played fairly well here again, except for of course, the odd big mistake that ends up in their net.
One of the questions we've been asking off and on today about tomorrow is goaltending. Who do you think for Team USA?
Rick DiPietro. Start warming up those Stars and Stripes goal pads right now, those brand new ones that he's played with in this tournament. Robert Esche had a chance to play. Has to be a flat-out thrill for him from upstate New York. He does a ton of charity work up there. He's been an ambassador for our sport. Plays very well for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's had some real serious groin problems this season, but they seem to be behind him. And Ken Hitchcock, the Flyer coach, who's here with Team Canada, he's mentioned that he thinks his team is going to be extremely healthy when they get back from the break, talking about the Flyers. And by the way, Peter Forsberg did play a full game today for Sweden. And that's a plus for Sweden. It's a plus for him that he's healthy enough to play.
Philadelphia Flyers, out of the 8 teams that would make the playoffs in the National Hockey League if they began today, have been all season long either number 1 or number 2 in their division and 5th overall right now in the conference. Recently caught by the New York Rangers, but when you consider all of the major injuries they had, it's been a remarkable year for them so far. 14 over 500 in Philadelphia. Here is Brian Ralston turning as the net vacated by Robert Esche. Delayed, the net empty right now as it is trickled back down the ice, and it is eventually called an icing. And so they'll bring it all the way back into the Russian end.
Well, good effort by the 2 players trying to get back, one of them being Shashinsky. As the puck just went wide, he tried to say that it went through part of the goal crease. Icing is the call. 46-16 the faceoffs in favor of Team USA. Well, let's see what happens here.
Chris Drury will take it. He's got Tkachuk up front along with Cole. At the back it will be John Michael Lyles right near the boards and Matthew Schneider. And the other forward is the bulky Mike Knuble. Tie up with Yashin, one right back. Dealt back on again, and turning with it is Tkachuk. Rattled it around behind, but some trouble comes there. Fedor Tutin moving in to lift it is Knuble. It popped on back to center. Viktor Kozlov able to step by, and a hand pass is ruled that will call it all back.
Well, how about the kid Fedor Tutin? Plays for the Rangers. He's another one of the better rookies in the entire league. Of course, not in the class of Ovechkin and others. But boy, you know, talking about Crosby and Lundqvist and Phaneuf and Svatos. But this kid is a good player, and the Russian club has him on the ice in the last minute of a 1-goal game, and he's in his early 20s. The Rangers staff have to love that as Team USA calls a timeout. What experience this is for the kid. Fedor Tutin was telling me, Mike, when he played youth hockey in Russia, they would go on 20, 22, 24-hour bus trips, and they would take the hockey equipment and put it between their seats so they could sit another player on there, just to make the trip, to go and play in games as kids, as juniors. I mean, it was a tough life.
So the extra player would sit on the equipment instead of on a seat.
Yeah, there was just no room. 16, 18, 20, 22, 24-hour bus trips.
Well, when you get up near the Arctic Circle, the other advantage is it keeps some of that equipment warm instead of down in the hold of the bus where it's well below zero.
That could happen in Canada too, and I know that by memory. Getting into some buildings, getting the equipment out from under the bus and be frozen solid. And thank God they invented hair dryers. You could warm it up. And there's Fedortooth. He's played well. What an experience! And talk about a respectful, nice young man. You're looking at him there.
Well, let's see if Drury can win this one. Off the tie-up, it was won by Pavel Datsyuk. Shaken back on, but not out. Lyles tried to get it further, sent on by Knuble. Tkachuk fit one in front, and it was jammed just wide on the combination play at the front by Cole. Around in front, Tkachuk tries to center. Now it's fed back out again. Turnaround shot is cut off by the defense. Angled back across. Kovalev sees the net open, can't get it there. Knocked down by Schneider. Another chance back in, 23 to go. Tkachuk popped it to the corner. Burrowing back in as Knuble crashes into a man. Meanwhile to the outside, oh, what a hit there as it's Schneider back across the Lyles. Knocked down in front, another try, and yet another one. Cleared, but not out. Fed to the slot. Lyles tucked one in front. Battled for it. Rising shot across the net mouth wide, and the horn sounds. Evil stares, ill words. They all understand English from the NHL, and then they gather around the goalie who played periods 2 and 3, Maxim Sokolov. And Russia has won this contest with the United States 5-4.
And the puck just wouldn't go in. Look at the serious battles. There's Drury. Oh, did he get hit by Kovalov? Puck to the net. Knuble tries to get open. There's a shot, doesn't get through. Sokolov now can relax, maybe no. Puck's kept in by Schneider. More shots, open in front. That one there I thought was gonna go in by Knuble, but he put it up over top of the crossbar. Kovalov, does he ever hit Drury? Who gets the puck and boom, he exploded into him. Everybody okay, and after they do all this stuff, they battle each other. They scream and they yell, and Team USA can't finish. The players then go on the ice and shake hands. Chances in this game, scoring-wise, Team USA 34, and for the Russians 12, but they had the better chances. 2-on-1s, breakaways, things like that. The third period, Team USA did a lot of good things, and now they have to find their game by not giving up those crazy defensive opportunities, or at least defensive opportunities.